I'm going to be showing you guys my editing setup. Just so we're clear on this, editing in quality does require some halfway decent computer specs. So this is what I have. It was a budget setup, but I didn't go AMD. It's not that I am a fanboy, I'll go ahead and admit it. I love Nvidia and I love Intel. And I know some people will say AMD can do just as good, and I'm not saying you're wrong. But I want parts that I know I can trust and that'll last me for a long time, and they come with good warranties, and anytime I've ever called and asked for help, it's like I've always been connected to the best. So this is what I'm running: a GTX 970, an i7 4790K, 16 gigs of RAM, 8 gigs of that is a data, and the other 8 gigs is G-Skill, both running at 2133. If I had advice to give you on RAM, always get the same RAM. Don't mix two different brands or anything, because there are latency times you have to worry about. The only reason I did this was because the latency times were so close that I decided I would just do it, and if something went wrong, at least I had a warranty on all my stuff. So having that said, you see I'm running Windows 10 and then everything else that doesn't matter. So let's get into it. So right now I'm going to show you my program, Adobe Premiere Pro CS6. Just make a project, hit new project for the sake of it. Leave everything as it is, because I believe I did, and just make this HDV. I'll be honest, I can't explain but so much on that and why, but just do it. It says something already exists, override it, and it's because it's my thing. When it comes to your initial setup, as you can see here, I've put it as this. I had important, but I put this right here. Time base and everything. A lot of this can be changed later on, but as you can see, I put it up to how I want. So if you want pause the screen, copy this if you're using this program, or copy as much of it as you can if you're using another. So time to move on. Sorry, I'm just trying to get to it for rendering purposes. Okay, so next up is going to be showing you how to import and get ready for that render that people always wonder how to render in the best quality to make sure nothing bad happens. So let's import. Let's go ahead and bring in our logo. As you've noticed, we're only using the second half of our intro anymore. For reasons I won't state. I turned the sound off on that line so you didn't have to hear it. So let's wait for that to go away. Go ahead and do that. Always make sure your audio is expanded. Hit C, then go back to V, right click, clear. We now have our intro. And if you hold Alt and scroll in, you can double click. It'll give a fade in, and the other one's already going to have a fade in. So let's go ahead and do a fade out, just because in case the audio runs that long, I always do it even if it doesn't. So yeah, so now we have that nice little fade out. Alright, so next task. With my program, I'm able to do this. This is one of our new producers. This is Agario. We come in here, I was able to drag and drop it right on there. It's building its peaks and everything so that you can see, as you can see here, the peaks and the lines. Scroll on down, you'll see it's a roughly 8-minute, 20 something, whatever video. Alright, so what I'm going to do for this, since I trust Spectre, he's one of our new members, I am going to do a fade in over the course of, it's probably about a second and a half or so, and we're going to do a nice little audio fade in. Now let's come on over here to the back. Audio, well, video fade out, audio fade out, as always by holding down control and clicking, sorry, and then you'll see it looks like that. I didn't realize he did that. Let's back up here and find out right here. Right here is where we're going to cut it. Alright, so since he's with us now and he's using our branding, we're going to take out the subscribe to Spectre since he's officially merged with us, and we're going to put right here our zone out, so as you can see it goes out. So having all that done, we're ready to get a general understanding on how to render. So right before I do this, what I'm going to do is cut the video for a second, and then I'm going to check the audio levels, and when I'm done doing that, I'll bring us right back into the render. Okay guys, welcome back. Now that I've done the audio, another thing you should notice that I realized is when going through, I did not have my MP4 file at 1080p. You can always check by right click properties and image size right here 1280 by 720. However, the way I fixed it is I came up, I right clicked scale to frame size, which I keep my frame size at 1080p. That's why it was so important to always use 1080p. Just for best resolution always. So now that we're done, let's get rendering. So export media. A lot of people do MP4. I'm not going to do MP4. What we are going to do, and don't do AVI either. I mean, you can, it's good quality, but it's going to take forever, and you don't want that. Excuse me. So go to Windows Media. Then pick just about anything that says HD 1080p. Excuse me once again. If this is what the video is going to be, I'm just going to rename it all the inappropriate sounds an irritator can make while showing how to make a video. Okay, so scale to fill. I normally do stretch to fill or scale to fill, seeing on how it works, but I'm going to do scale to stretch to fill. Stretch to fill, probably better in this case. Alright, so let's go ahead and run down the list here. At the bottom, we have our 1920 by 1080. If you're not happy with that and you're trying to render in 2K, 4K, anything like that, you can manually put in width and height if you know it. Frame rate, I am not happy with only 29 frames a second. Let's boss it with a 60. Progressive, fine. Aspect, fine. Render at maximum depth. Once again, I'll get to the disclaimer later. Alright, so VBR2 pass, that's what I like to do, and I like to max it out. Peak buffer size, I normally stick with 5. Just cuz. And auto detect keyframe every 5 seconds, because that means it's like at every frame it'll stop and make sure it does its job for at every whatever interval. So we're at every 5 frames, and buffer size 1 second, just cause that's me. Also, I'm going to use maximum render quality, use frame blending, and make sure down here, if you're using this program, it says entire sequence. We're going to rename this Agario, which I can always respell properly in another lifetime. And here's my disclaimer. Now that I've shown you all this, when using the setting up here that was render at maximum depth and use maximum render quality and use frame blending, this puts a really hard toll on your processor. If you don't have a quality processor, this has the potential to ruin it, destroy its lifespan. It's like a cigarette for your computer, and unless your computer is made for handling really rough stuff or going really into depth with videos of high quality, then just stick with the 60 frames and don't check all these boxes I have. But if you want to, it'll just add days and days to your render. So now that we've done all that, hit export. It starts to calculate the time and get everything ready, so it can start rendering it out to my folder wherever I put it. I'll find it later. Not important. Whatever. So, like I said, if you're going to render at high quality, you're going to need a machine that's meant to be able to handle something to render at high quality. I believe with this program that it at one point gave me a disclaimer that said if you're doing this and checking these boxes, it could ruin your computer pretty much, and I think I disabled it from coming up anymore. Notice it still says 0%. I'm going to go ahead and cut out, and when it comes up with a percentage, I'll let you see that before I end the video. Okay guys, as promised, as you can see, estimated time remaining 2 minutes 40 going up whatever minutes. I'm running a lot of things in the background as well, but if okay, for instance, my friend who had a 3.8 megahertz quad core AMD processor who also overclocked and everything else, for a video that was roughly 6 to 8 minutes, told him he had to wait 2 straight days. Now I'm doing one that's about 8 to 9 minutes long. It's 8.5 to 9 minutes. Oh, I'm sorry, I lied. It's 8:05 right there at the bottom. Should have said it earlier. And it's gonna just take me a little over 2 hours just for this video. And you can't do but so much when this is going on, because you want your video to process properly and fast, and if an error occurs, it could shut down your program. So that's the gist of it, guys, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and you shall receive, I guess. I don't fucking know, but it was good to make a video for everyone again, so hope it helped. And if you need any other input on rendering, editing, what to choose, when, why, how, where, just ask. See you guys later, and thanks for watching.